Hey guys, Saki here from sakitech, and in today's video what we have here is we have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S11 Ultra. Now in this video what we're going to do is we are going to be unboxing this and doing a detailed initial look at this product. The Tab S11 Ultra is the successor to the Tab S10 Ultra, and we want to see exactly what is new, what has been upgraded, any new features, and any potential downgrades. So let's dive in and get started right away. All right, so here we have the box. What I'm going to do is I am going to lift up the front, and you can see when we lift that up, we're going to get the Tab S11 Ultra on the inside. Now this is the silver color. That's a beautiful looking color, by the way. It's also going to be available in a gray color, which is going to look more like this guy right over here. But I will leave the links to buy these products down below if you want to check them out. So what else do we get? So if I lift the tablet up just like that and put it to the side for 1 second, you will see we do have the S Pen included in the box as usual, and we have some user guides in this packet, as well as a USB Type-C cable. So let's take a look at that as well. So in the box, you get the redesigned S Pen. We're going to talk about the details of that S Pen. You get the USB Type-C cable. You get the quick start guide. And also you get a little ejector tool, and that is to access the micro SD expansion slot, which this tablet still has. All right, so here's the main dish, and as you can see, it looks very similar to last year's Tab S10 Ultra, but there are some very critical differences. Let's talk about those really quickly. Now, number one, you can see we have our new connectors in the back here. On the Tab S10 Ultra, they're actually at the bottom, okay? So this controllers, the 3-pin controller for accessories, like the keyboard case, has been moved to the rear. But we still have the same exact 2-camera system right here. That's a 13 megapixel and an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera. Again, I don't think anybody uses these on the tablets, but you have them if you need them. Now the next difference is going to be the S Pen housing. So you can see on the Tab S10 Ultra, the S Pen attaches magnetically to that bar on the rear. Okay, so if I do that, that's what we get. On the Tab S11 Ultra, the S Pen now resides on the top right here. It attaches magnetically. Okay, so that is another difference design-wise. I do like this option better. We still have 4 quad speakers. You're going to see we have a speaker on this side, USB Type-C cable, another speaker on this side. So 2 speakers on one side and 2 additional speakers on this side. That's a speaker and that's a speaker. And they're going to be slightly improved, better sounding speakers. And on the top over here, we have the volume rocker and the power button. Additionally, if I remove the S Pen, you can see under there, we also have the micro SD expansion slot, so you can add more memory if you need it. Now the micro SD expansion option allows you to add an additional 2 terabytes of storage if needed. I also want to let you guys know that the Tab S11 Ultra is now thinner. It is only 5.1 millimeters. All right, so let's fire this thing up and look at the specs, the new features, software features, S Pen, and all that good stuff. Now, before we dive in, very important to understand, because we moved the accessory connector to the back over here, it used to be at the bottom, remember? And also because we have the S Pen on the top now, the old accessories from the older models like the S10 Ultra are not going to work on the S11 Ultra. You do have to buy new keyboard cases if you want keyboard cases with the trackpad or without, like this one. All right, so I just set this up and you can see we're inside. Right away, you can see the new difference. The notch has been reduced in size compared to the S10 Ultra. Here's a closer look at the notch. That's the S11 Ultra. That's the S10 Ultra. So now there's only going to be 1 camera here instead of 2 cameras. And that's going to be a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera with the reduced notch size. The bezel sizes are the same. Now let's go to the settings. I'm going to show you something really nice. First and foremost, look at how nicely the control center just popped down. And also if I bring down the notifications from anywhere, they also pop down on the side. So that is great, and that is because this tablet is now running One UI 8.0. Let me show that to you real quick. About tablet, software information, you can see it is One UI 8.0 that also brings some new features to the table. Before I dive in and show you all the new features, let's look at the display and talk about the display specs. We do have a major improvement in the display category. Now the size of the display is the same, 14.6 inches, and it's the same resolution as last year. However, the peak brightness of the display has been bumped to 1600 nits from 920 nits. So it's going to have a major improvement in overall display brightness. In fact, that brings it close to the iPad. Okay, so the iPad Pro has a peak brightness of 1600 nits, and now the Tab S11 Ultra has it as well. And of course, we still have the anti-reflective coating on here, so it reduces glare and reflections at all times, especially in outdoor conditions. So dramatically improved display brightness, but all the other display stats are the same. What about the battery? We have a good news on the battery as well. The size of the battery has been increased slightly. So now it is an 11,600 milliamp hours battery that promises even additional battery life. And of course, you have 45 watts of charging speeds. So if I go to my charging settings, we have fast charging. That's going to be 45 watts of charging. We also have, when it comes to biometrics, let's go to security here, right over here. You can see we have fingerprint sensor. I'm going to go in here for a second, and we do have the fingerprints. It is an in-display optical fingerprint sensor that's going to be over here. So if I go out, you can see it's going to be right here, and it is going to be an optical fingerprint sensor. It's not going to be an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Another thing that is new is when it comes to performance, we do have an upgraded Dimensity 9400 plus processor. That's a 3 nanometer process. And if I go to my history, you can see the benchmark scores have been improved over last year, which was Dimensity 9300 plus. So this is approximately, based on these numbers, 18 to 20% faster. Now here's the raw numbers from Samsung. They say that the CPU is 24% faster, the GPU is 27% faster, and the NPU for AI processing is 33% faster. And that is compared to the Tab S10 Ultra. So we do have the bump in performance. And of course, when it comes to the device care, with the storage, this is a 256 gigabyte model, but you can go up to 1 terabyte if that's what you want. With the 1 terabyte, you get 16 gigabytes of RAM. With the 256 gigabyte model, this one, plus the 512 gigabyte model, you get 12 gigabytes of RAM. I do wish they just had 16 gigabytes of RAM across the board standard. I also mentioned we have quad speakers. So if I go to my sound, and if I go into my sound quality, we have Dolby Atmos, we have quad speakers, we have beautiful surround sound. The speakers are in fact better than the Tab S10 Ultra. It's not dramatic, but there's a slight improvement in the loudness and the clarity and the richness. So that is great. Those are the core specs I want to talk about. Now I want to talk about something really amazing. I'm going to talk about the brand new DeX. Now in the old days, if I go to my Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra, which is running One UI 7, if I go to my connected devices and go to my Samsung DeX right here, you have an option that says Start DeX. That is no longer the case. To start DeX on the Tab S11 Ultra with One UI 8, all you have to do is press the Recents button, and you'll see a plus icon on the side, and that is your Samsung DeX. So this area is the tablet area, the tablet interface. Look at this. When I tap on this, it creates a desktop environment. So this is the desktop environment that looks just like the tablet. But look at this. Here's the DeX, and here's the regular tablet interface. Now when I go over here and go inside, I am in DeX mode. And if I launch any application, it's going to launch in this pop-up window mode. So let's do a couple over here, and you can see I can move them very smooth, by the way. I can maximize, I can shrink, I can minimize, I can exit out, and anytime I want to access anything, I can tap over here,
And that is my desktop number 1. Again, if I want to go back to tablet, boom, I am in the tablet mode. This is just a regular tablet mode. If I want to go and do DeX work, it's going to be right here. Here's the great part. I can have 4 separate workspaces. So I can tap on plus and add desktop number 2. Now I have desktop 1, desktop 2, and also if I tap this again, desktop 3. Tap over here, tap again, desktop 4. So now we have that separate DeX mode with 4 separate DeX interfaces you can run independently of each other. So if I'm over here, I can have a specific setup. Then I can go to my desktop number 2. I'm going to have a specific setup. Let me just launch a couple apps here so you can see what I'm talking about. So look at this. Let's do one more. Let's do Samsung Notes. Okay. So when I go over here, this is my one setup for desktop number 2. And that's my other setup for desktop number 2. Okay. Meanwhile, if you go back over here, and if you wanted to do split screen multitasking, you can still do that as usual. Okay. So that is still here. You can do it over here. And also, if you want, you can do it over here as well. You can see when I maximize this, I have the option, if I go over here, to unmaximize it. They have buttons everywhere. So look at this. That maximizes it. If I tap this, it goes full screen as usual. Okay, but again, if I pull this up a little bit, I get the button over here to bring it back to the regular mode. But again, the big thing to understand is the DeX mode and the desktop 1, 2, 3 are going to be running separately from this over here, where you can do your regular multitasking and all that good stuff. You can even do regular pop-up window. So you can do pop-up window. This is my regular non-DeX pop-up window. How do I know that? I am in this area. But if I go over here, then I'm in the DeX mode with my DeX-specific pop-up windows. So I do believe that is quite fantastic and streamlined once you know how to use it. And if you don't want to use, if you want to kill any one of these desktop interfaces, you just X. Close, okay, tap, and if I don't want something, X, it closes that. So very, very nice, smooth, refined interface. Now the Samsung Galaxy Tab S10 Ultra and probably the S9 Ultra are going to get these features with a software update coming soon. So that's the new DeX.
Now I do want to talk about the S Pen, but I do want to show you something really important here. So when you grab the S Pen, first and foremost, it's a slightly new design, as you can see. It looks different than the old S Pen, but you can see as I rotate the pen, there's a gray coloring on one of the areas. So if you go over here, it's all white, but then over here, you have the gray. So the gray means you can attach that area to the top magnetically, okay? So if you try to attach it like this, it's not gonna attach. You have to bring that gray and align that with the tablet's top area, and boom, it snaps into place. Okay, so take a look at that right there. It also says Samsung at the bottom, so that should make it clear.
Okay, now with the S Pen, we have some changes, so I'm gonna show that to you right now. Very easy to navigate on the display. As you can see, we still have our Air command. If I press this button, it should come up. It is right here actually. I can tap that to bring up my Air command as usual. Then I get a quick tutorial when I use it for the first time, but I do have Drawing Assist AI feature, which is fantastic. Let me just give you a quick idea of what that was. So here's the pen. Okay, it's great to have this pen on this large display. It's going to make note-taking, sketching, artistry so much easy. Let's do a sketch and a generate. So that's one of the AI features. You can sketch some random stuff and it's going to convert that into some artistic masterpiece, but it's not going to over-exaggerate, okay? So that's great. So you have that. Obviously, you have all the AI features. I'm going to show that to you in a second. To access your settings, from the corner top, you pull to the bottom, from the right. Then go to the settings, and here's the new thing with the S Pen. It's a downgrade. So advanced features, if I go to the S Pen, the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen has been removed. So now you have every other feature except the Bluetooth functionality. And as you can see, as I attach this to the tablet, the pen doesn't charge anymore.
Here's the Tab S10 Ultra. Here's the old S Pen. So if I attach that to the rear, you can see it's going to give me the charging animation. And if I go to my settings right over here, and if I go over to advanced features, and if I go to S Pen, you can see connecting for Air Actions. The Air Actions menu is the menu that allows for Bluetooth functionality. But if I come to the Tab S11 Ultra, and if I go over to the advanced features and go to S Pen, you're not going to see the Air Actions, but you will see every other feature. So look, no Air Actions, but everything else is there. All right.
But it does everything else that you expect it to do. If I go to my Samsung Notes, if I start a new note over here, and then if I pick one of my pens, so let's say black or red or whatever, change the size, I can start drawing with ultra precision as usual. It feels actually even better than before. It feels less laggy and even smoother. And by less laggy, I don't mean the old one was laggy. It just means this is better, okay? It's just smoother. It's got better precision and all that good stuff. So writing, sketching is not going to be an issue with this S Pen. Only the Bluetooth functionality has been taken away. All right, some other things to look at. By the way, if I pinch the screen and go to my wallpaper, you can see we have this brand new wallpaper. If I tap on variations, I have this one and this one, okay? So this is all part of One UI 8 and the new tablet. And if I go to my settings, love the way that just comes down. Okay, go to my settings. And then if I go to my Galaxy AI, you can see we have all the AI features. These are productivity boosters. You've got writing assist, you got note assist, you got transcript assist, browsing assist, you got photo assist, drawing assist. All these features are in fact here and they have been improved. And because this is a flagship tablet, not a single AI feature is missing. When it comes to AI features, this tablet is above and beyond the iPad for now. All right, so that's my initial impressions of the tablet. Definitely improved. Like I said, we have a smaller notch, we have a faster processor, we have the brand new DeX and new software, we have Wi-Fi 7, I think I forgot to mention that, so you get the fastest Wi-Fi on this tablet. You have that larger battery, you still have microSD expansion up to 2 terabytes now, and the new peak brightness of 1600 nits. That really was bothering me because the iPad is at 1600 nits, but now the Tab S11 Ultra meets that. The only thing that I wish they did not take away was the Bluetooth functionality of the S Pen. But beyond that, everything is an improvement. It is lighter, it's thinner, it's a great product. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below and let me know. For now, guys, have a fantastic day, all right?